What's up, Aries? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle, and basically I'm just another tarot reader and astrologer here on the internet. We are not all love, light, twin flames, and rainbows over here, so please keep that in mind. This is your April 2020 reading. This can resonate if you're an Aries, sun, moon, or rising. And let's go ahead and get into it. So Aries, there's a lot here going on, I feel, underneath the surface, especially when it comes to work and career for you. There's a lot that's been kind of like boiling, I feel, or that's been kind of like escalating when it comes to career, purpose, where you're going in life, or a boss or a fatherly figure or an authority figure, maybe even a significant other for some of you guys, honestly, some sort of organization or company even. But I really kind of feel that in the cards. There's kind of like, it's almost like someone's just been giving you a headache. It's just like they've been giving you a hard time, or they've been really testing you, or there's something kind of going on with the hierarchy or the power dynamic when it comes to your life, your work life, your career life, what it is that you want to do. And it's really been psychologically screwing with you, whatever this situation is, because I have the Nine of Wands in the moon that kind of fell out during the pre-shuffle. This is definitely, what I'm getting from this is definitely something psychological. Definitely kind of watching your back or feeling like you can't trust something. There's a sense of feeling like something is untrustworthy in some aspect of your life, that you have to stay guarded, that you have to guard how you really feel, that you have to guard your emotions. You've been trying to stay strong. You've been really trying to not show that you're scared, but you're definitely scared when it comes to a certain situation in your life, okay? I also feel here that you're kind of scared to show some kind of vulnerability. There's something that you can't quite see or that you don't quite know, and it's really scaring you. And a lot of people probably feel that way. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic right now, you know what I mean? Like, no shit. But I get it, you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like you're reacting from the fear instead of like sitting with the fear or letting the fear kind of run through you. It's kind of like you're becoming defensive or you're becoming combative in some way. You're reacting from the fear. You're reacting from the unknown. And it's really that, like, you're scared of the unknown, and it's bringing these shadowy characteristics out in you. And if it's not somebody in your life that you feel is being manipulative or being, like abusing their power in some way, it could definitely be you. And you want to be careful with that this month, because what I see here is that you're going to have a super strategic mind this month and how to give back to the world and how to help the world. But when other people aren't listening to you or something triggers that shadow part of you, you're going to become demanding, okay? You're going to become a bit demanding, and you may take extra lengths or you may take certain risk to get around it or to try to manipulate the situation to be what you want it to be. So I definitely would be careful. If you are struggling with a certain person or person in power or system in power or whatever the case may be, make sure that you don't become them and trying to help in some way or trying to stop them in some way. Because that's what we do a lot of the time when we are basically trying to call someone out or bring the truth to light about a particular situation or person or group of people, whatever the case may be. Sometimes we can become them in the process, right? I know a lot of people are probably familiar with Ozark, so I'll use that as an example. But like the agent Petty in Ozark kind of ends up becoming the bad guy, doesn't he, right? He becomes the same thing he's fighting against, which is kind of pointless, right? So, and that's what I'm kind of saying. You don't want to become what you are fearing the most, and that's kind of what I see here. So anyways, moving on. Your first week in April, we have the Strength card and the King of Wands falling out. So very much that fiery energy There's definitely something here you're feeling determined about, that you're feeling passionate about, possibly even a little bit forceful or persuasive about, okay? There's definitely a fear here that you're trying to go up against, okay? This first week of April. And I really feel it could have something to do with business. It could have something to do with work, job, something along those lines, where you are really trying to maneuver a situation in some way, where you're really trying to be more direct, be more assertive in a situation in some way, and where you will have to show a sense of courage in a situation, which doesn't necessarily mean lack of fear, okay? But it definitely does mean facing the fear. Now, through that, I do see going into the second week that you will be a little bit more relieved about something, that some kind of news or truth or reckoning will happen that will put you in a state of feeling more content with yourself and with the situation. And also, I forgot to say in the beginning, guys, if this isn't resonating so far, maybe come back. May not be a reading. It is a general reading, so keep that in mind. I'm not going to get every single Aries out there. And plus, it's still the beginning of April, so you never know. But anyways, what I see here is kind of like a reckoning, or kind of like something finally kind of coming to light a little bit from the past, or some kind of news, some kind of something that comes to light that somehow makes you feel more emotionally safe or satisfied. Something that makes you feel a little bit more content, a little bit more rested, a little bit more like you can kind of sit back and relax and really, truly understand the whole situation on a better level. Now, this could also be a sense of forgiveness, okay? A sense of kind of getting through the darkness, getting through the fear, coming out on the other side. But you do have to be careful, because it does look like into the fourth week, we do have something kind of going the other way again. Now, this could be you or another person. But with the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, I'm really getting here that there's a kind of a sense of, right when you kind of feel like you've gotten to a place where you can stand, or where you've worked very hard for something, or you feel like you succeeded at something may happen. And it could be something that you do. It could be a risk that you take, okay? It could be something that you kind of do behind closed doors, right? Because we have the Seven of Swords here. So you want to be careful, like I said before, with this shadow being so close by. The moon is our shadow side, right? It's about integrating it instead of trying to keep it at bay, like I feel like a lot of you guys are doing right now, because of all this fear of the unknown. But there can be something that kind of sneaks up on you, right? A behavior that you do, or a risk that you take in order to feel better about yourself, or to feel more successful at something, or to feel more achieved in a situation. So I do want you guys to watch out for that third week, because there could be something kind of going on that you're not really thinking all the way through about, okay? So moving into the fourth week, we have the Seven of Wands and the Magician card here. So what I'm seeing, Aries, is that there's kind of a sense here of really trying to fight something off, like we've been talking about. Really trying to fight something off, really trying to prove your potential in something, or to prove your worth at something. I kind of feel like maybe people are second guessing you, or people aren't taking you seriously, or something along those lines. It's kind of like you have to fight to prove that you're talented, or that you're okay. So we have wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. You kind of have to fight to really prove that you have the ability to do what you need to do. But through that, I feel like you're kind of taking certain unnecessary risk, or certain risk that could end up being harmful to you in some way. That could end up backfiring on you in some way, okay? So you do want to just be careful of that. Now, we have the Magician and the Seven of Wands. I don't know if I showed it to you. So this is your 4th week of April. So there's definitely a challenge here. There's definitely a challenging situation involving your potential, involving even resources, right? Involving your resources, or involving the things that you can do. It's kind of like you're trying to show people your power in a way. And this really makes sense, Aries, because you guys have Jupiter and Pluto that are going to be meeting up in your 10th house of Capricorn, which is all about work and your world views and your public image, your reputation. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. You want to be careful that you're not doing anything that's putting your reputation at risk, okay? But also, you may be caring what people think a little bit too much. So what I'm also seeing, Aries, is in the 4th week, if there is a challenging situation, you will have the tools and resources you need to get through it, okay? You may feel outnumbered, you may feel a bit victimized, or you may feel like you don't have the necessary tools, or whatever the case may be, to get through the situation, but you will. Okay, that's really what I'm getting here. You will, because you have the Magician, which tells me you do have what is necessary to get through this situation. Okay, so for your oracle cards, we have Wolf Spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. Okay, we also have Bobcat Spirit, life is a mystery. And then we also have Porcupine, time for a beginner's mind. So with the Bobcat, I feel like life is a mystery, and that's kind of what we're getting here with the Nine of Wands, right? There's this huge mystery that's really bothering you, this kind of fear of the unknown, this not understanding or seeing how it's going to work out, or being on your defense, kind of just waiting, you know what I mean? Like determined, but also there's a little bit of fear there, right? That I feel like you guys aren't wanting to acknowledge. So with life as a mystery, I feel like it's kind of like, in the end, everything's unknown. In the end, what can you really control? You know what I mean? You can take your hand and squeeze it shut, but at the end of the day, something could happen that's out of your control that prevents you from doing that. Because half the time, we're not even in control of what our bodies do, right? Also, with Wolf Spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. I think this is putting you in a situation where you have to kind of be the bigger person, or you have to kind of be wise about something. You have to face the truth about something. And I also feel with this that there's been a cycle, a pattern that you guys have been going in, where you've learned the same lesson over and over and over. And instead of turning it into wisdom, you keep going back for more knowledge, even though the universe is like, yo, you've learned this lesson. Like the wisdom is there. Why are you continuing to keep going around? And then with the Porcupine, time for a beginner's mind, that's what we have ending with the Magician here. You are a little bit too focused, I feel, on needing to kind of be either in power or achieve something or have something in your own way in some way. And I think it's telling you to go back to a beginner's mind, which also goes with the turn knowledge into wisdom that I was talking about. You've been kind of learning, like I said, you've been kind of learning the same lesson over and over again because you keep either not learning the lesson or acting like you didn't learn the lesson. But it's time to get back into a beginner's mindset of a new situation in your life, of the next situation in your life, so you can truly see what else there is for you instead of focusing on the same things over and over and over again, or the same path that you've been on over and over and over again, if that makes sense. So seeing what else that you're talented at, understanding your skills, right? And this is a good time to do that. So yeah, definitely watch out for this third week of April, because I do feel that you may be tempted to do something, to take some kind of risk, or do something kind of manipulative or behind the scenes in a way to make something happen in order to achieve something or be successful at something. So do watch out for that, Aries. But other than that, astrologically speaking, like I said, that Pluto-Jupiter conjunction is in your 10th house, which really does bring up a need to be more resourceful, especially when it comes to your public image, your career, your reputation, people in authority, bosses, all of that. But also, we're going to have this Libra full moon on the 7th. This could be a huge kind of wake-up call for you, a huge kind of, and that's, we do have judgment here. This is kind of a huge wake-up call for you, showing you kind of like truths that you may need to face about yourself in order to feel more comfortable in your own skin, right? Showing you where you may have been being unfair, where you may have been being unjust in a situation, or where someone else may have been, okay? This could also bring up some kind of interesting drama in relationships, so be prepared around that time as well. And just try to make sure that you are, kind of being fair about it, that you are looking at things from all sides, if that does get brought up. Mars will be in your 11th house, so you'll definitely possibly be dealing with friends or the public this month, or doing things to help out society or humanity in some way. And I think that could really take your focus to a new level. Okay. And yeah, that is about it. Mercury will be moving into your sign on the 11th. So that's going to be good. It's going to make you feel more communicative. It's going to make you work on your skills more, be more direct and think more logically. So anyways, that is what I'm getting for you guys, Aries. Let me know down below if this resonated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.